Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Sack here. It's Tuesday, November 29th, 2016. The big news story today is the tragedy in Colombia, South America. They're reporting that a city football slash soccer team from Brazil participating in a tournament that their plane crashed in the nation of Colombia. 77 people on the plane. They're now reporting 71 dead. This morning when I first woke up, it was 76 dead. Then they dropped it to 75, and now it's at 71. In this video, we're going to be talking about the parallels between this incident and the 1972 plane crash of October 13th in the Andes Mountains by the Uruguayan rugby team. There's been a book written about that, a movie made, Alive, the movie of how the survivors of that plane wreck supposedly made it. If you've never heard that story, the survivors, when they arrived back, when they made it, the media and the public demonized them because the story was released that the way they survived was by eating those who had died. They didn't have any way else to stay alive. They were out there for 71 days, and right now they're reporting 71 of 77 people died. But alive in 1972, 44 years ago, 71 days of survival, similar story, athletic team, rugby, football, soccer, crash in the Andes Mountains, not too far from where this plane crashed today. Stay tuned, there's a lot of things I'm going to show you. This is a definite ritual today. What I am not sure of is if this plane has really crashed and these people are really dead, or if this is some sort of hoax, some sort of spoof, and everyone's being deceived. I don't know where all these young athletes would go from this team, though. So I lean towards the possibility that this plane has been struck by the sky by the madmen psychopaths who run this world. All of us who live in the Americas, North America, South America, none of our nations are sovereign. We all live in nations that were conquered by people from Europe who came over here and colonized, wiped out the native indigenous people. We live under a gang of warmonger psychopaths who do not respect human life. So the possibility of them of taking this plane out of the sky just as an insane ritual, it's there. It seems that if they did that, though, there'd be more people out for justice and they'd be more exposed. So that's where I lean towards somehow maybe they're faking it. Maybe all these young men are paid off and they go live who knows where. It's a big world. So I don't know. But what I am going to show you is that this news today is no accident. This is by the numbers. Stay tuned. Very important knowledge. And again, in every video in the description, my how-to gematria video so that you can learn to do this yourself. Verify the work. Very simple system once you learn it. So anyhow, today they've reported 76 dead, 75 dead, 71. When CNN put up their first top story like this, it was 75. When they broke the news with the banner they do at the top of the screen, it was 76. So it went from 76 to 75. When they put out 75, I noticed that where the plane had reportedly crashed was on the 75th meridian. And I know that from this study, 75 represents New World Order. And it's fitting because, the New World Order is who does this to us. That is the worldwide Masonic Zionist Jesuit order, the banker tyrants, the industrialists, the people who run government, the people who abide by this occult esoteric knowledge. New World Order, 75, just like order out of chaos. And that's what this government does all the time. Stages tragedies to remind people that they need Big Brother. They need Big Brother to make sure their planes are safe. Flights are where they're supposed to be. These types of things aren't happening. Death, the average person's greatest fear. And we're constantly reminded of death in the media. So when the headlines first broke, it was 76 dead. And what stood out about that right away was airplane equals 76. So does the name of the stadium where this team plays in Brazil. And they had a meeting there for the city for people to come and mourn today. So everyone was mourning in a stadium with a 76 name, like the word airplane, also like today's date numerology. It's November 29th, 2016, 11 plus 29 is 40, plus 20, 60, plus 1676. Date numerology. 76 like airplane, like the 76 they reported dead this morning. Blood sacrifice has gematria of 67 and 76. This could be a blood sacrifice. No doubt it's a tribute to 1972, 44 years ago, the story of Alive. Alive equals 49. Today has a life lesson number of 49. The city team, and I don't mean to mutilate the name, but it's Chapecoense. The city they play for, gematria 49. Just like Alive, like today's life lesson number. It's also a life lesson number of 22. Soccer, football is a game of 11 on 11, 22 men. The type of plane that crashed was an Avro, gematria of 56, like today's date numerology. That could be a coincidence. 5 plus 6 is 11. You know, that's what's more significant about 56 is its numerology of 11. 11, the master number in numerology. 22, the master builder number. In gematria, master equals 22. 22, the master builder number. Also, master equals 31. 31, the 11th prime. 11, the master number. The English language built and based on gematria. Thousands of years older than English. Watch my how-to gematria video in the description. Lots of information you need to know in case you've never watched it. So today, the date this happened, November 29th, it is typically the 333rd day of the year. We're in a leap year, so it's the 334th. This plane was from Brazil, Brazil 32. Like America, this was a team from Brazil. You know, Brazil and the Americas, South America. Americas is 33, like masonry, like secrecy. Also like the city this team's from, which we'll get to. So the latest reporting on this is that 71 people are dead. The latest reporting is 71 dead at the time I'm making this, later this evening, more than 12 hours after the story was reported. They're saying 6 survivors, 71 dead, 77 people on the plane. 1972, the Alive incident was 44 years ago. There's only 2 numbers when written out that sum to 144, and those are 44 and 71. 44 years ago, 71 survivors. The Alive incident was 71 days. This also happens in the time of Sagittarius. Sagittarius equals 144, the only astrological sign that does. And where the plane crashed in gematria sums to 144. Also, this is a predominantly Catholic area. Possible coincidence, but Catholic also has that gematria of 71. Remember, the Jesuits, the Masonic order within the Catholic Church, a major part of this agenda. The Pope, who's from Argentina, South America. With regards to 44, the 44-year span from 72 to 2016, the word kill equals 44. This is a story of death, of course. So, the start date of the Alive incident was October 13th, 1972. From that date to today is 47 days. And look at this. Brazilian equals 47. This was a Brazilian team that crashed. 47, that special number to the Freemasons for creating, building. Foundation equals 47. Framework 47. Authority 47. Euclid's 47th problem. Look it up. Euclid's. That's EUCLID''S. Euclid's 47th problem. Look it up. It's to the Freemasons. It's how to build a structure. Important number. It's why the United States of America's birthday is the 4th day of the 7th month. Nation founded by Freemasons. So the story of the survivors from 44 years ago is called the Miracle of the Andes, which in gematria sums to 77. 77 people on the plane today. 71 survived. 71 died, 6 survived. It's too bad it's not the other way around. Here's what it was in 1972. The plane crashed October 13th. They were rescued December 23rd, 1972. That's 71 days later. Just like the 71 dead today. And just like how we talked about how it connects with 44 and 144. The plane that crashed in 1972, Uruguay was the nation. Uruguay, the only nation in South America that sums to 33, number of the Freemasons. And if you don't know the history of Uruguay, it broke away from Brazil with a movement called the 33 Orientals. The Rockefeller family, who was in power back then, used to put the name Orientals on a lot of their businesses. A lot of things they labeled Orientals. And the Rockefeller family today continues to run projects that are centered around 33, such as the World Trade Centers, which were financed and approved by that family. Rockefeller was governor of New York. David Rockefeller proposed, offered financing for the project. Rockefeller's World Trade Centers, construction began in 1968. Those buildings fell down on a Tuesday, like this incident. 2001, 33 years later, 911 was made the national emergency dialing code in 1968. World Trade Center construction began. George W. Bush graduated from Yale in Skull and Bones. 33 years later, he'd become president the same year 911 happened. He has 33 birth numerology. George W. Bush, born on July 6th, a date that can be written 7/6. Here we are talking about 76. Today's date numerology, this story, the word airplane. From his birthday to September 11th is a span of 68 days, like the year 68 to 2001. But anyway, 33 Orientals created Uruguay. 33. Freemasons, New World Order, Zionists, Jesuits. So I'll link this if you want to read the full story. An Avro RJ-85, 77 people on board. It departed from Santa Cruz, Bolivia, which also has gematria of 76, like airplane, like the date. Also, gematria of 193, the 44th prime number. Again, 44 years since 1972. See how nicely it all comes together? The tournament that they are participating in right now, it's called Copa Sudamericana, gematria of 144. You know? Doesn't it all line up too nicely? And we're not even done. So the city name, the team that crashed, 33, just like Uruguay, just like masonry, like secrecy, like false flag. A false flag, something that's done to impact the psychology of its people. And all of us in the Americas, we're all ruled over by governments that want to control us. And when we're fearful, intimidated, sad, you know, we're an easier herd to corral. That's why we get this constant negativity worldwide. This is the New World Order. This is how they're running the world. Remember, English, Spanish, I think Portuguese as well, all based on Latin language. In Latin, the word government means mind control. Mind control. Think about it. The city with the nation, Chapecoense, Brazil, gematria of 119, like all-seeing eye, like Star of David, like master plan, using this city team to create this tragedy, to create this negative emotion throughout the world. I mean, how many people are sad because of this story? By the way, 119, this special number, connects to 144. The divisors of 119 sum to 144. 144, also the number for time in Jewish gematria, a fitting number for time. The square root of 144 is 12. 12 months in a year, 12 hours in the morning, in the evening, 12 numbered spaces on the clock. 12 inches in a foot, the nonsensical measurement system. Time measurement. So they had at their arena where they play, which is Arena Conda, the name of it, they had the fans meet to mourn. Now hundreds of heartbroken fans have gathered at Arena Conda in the team's hometown of Chapecoense, Brazil. They talked about how they were a Cinderella story team, became a horror story. I'll tell you about that in a moment too. Arena Conda 76, just like Master, special number, Master Masonry. A Master Mason's a 33rd degree. The United States of America, established in 1776. Using the alphabetic order, the word America equals 50, like the 50 states in the United States. using the Francis Bacon method, America equals 76, like being established in 1776. And again, we're talking about South America here. It's all relevant. Whenever they put out this wreckage, it just always looks. They had these images out so early this morning. It's just always amazing to me how they have this stuff so ready to go. I guess we live in the age where it's possible. But I don't know. To me, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. You never see any gore in any of the imagery you put out. I don't know. I just imagine a plane crash with bodies, high impact. I imagine there would be gore. Something doesn't look right about that image to me. If you pay attention when you read these articles, when they emphasize things, we are praying for everyone. If you decode, you'll see what they're coding. Sums to 137. This is the message from the authorities. What the authorities said, we are praying for everyone. 137 is the 33rd prime, special number. Praying, amen, amen 33, believe 33, masonry 33, secrecy 33. Again, first printed Bibles, 42-line Bibles. New Testament equals 42. 42 generations to Jesus. Freemason equals 42. Knowledge equals 42. History equals 42. Freemasons pride themselves on being the keepers of knowledge. The invisible architects of society, architect 42, building 42. I don't know that the Freemasons originally wrote the Bible, but the versions we know in this world, the translations, there's no doubt the Freemasons have had their hands on it. Where the plane officially crashed, Cerro El Gordo, gematria of 72, the alive incident was in 1972, again 44 years ago. We talked about how from the date of the crash to the date they were rescued was 71 days later. If you count the date the plane crashed, it was a span of 72 days, like the year it happened in. The name of this cup, or the tournament that they're in that they just crashed, also has gematria of 72. Last recorded position of LM12933. Things like that happen, Sometimes it could be a coincidence, but just how often they put this number in these stories, you just got to shrug your shoulders. It's also the 29th day. 2 plus 9 brings us back to 11. It's all about the multiples of 11. 33 a multiple of 11. 3 times 11. Again, the name of the city, gematria 49, just like alive, like today's date numerology. They have this shot of the gear. Supposedly this is from the wreck scene, covered in some dirt, debris. Satellite for crash of flight CP2933, 33, the city name, Uruguay. False flag. They talk about how it went from Cinderella team, which means like unlikely, underdog, feel-good story, to nightmare. And if you pay attention to horror movies, nightmare movies, a lot of 47 often coded into those, as well as 74. Amityville equals 47. It's from the year 74, the Amityville story. Just notice that Cinderella's 47, like horror, like Brazilian, like we covered earlier, like The Authority, who gives us the story. This tournament in Pythagorean gematria, it summed to 63, as well as 72 and 144. When you count every number 1 through 63, it sums to 2016, like the year we're in, Fitting year for this tragedy by the numbers in relation to this tournament. This reporting right here, 6 journalists from Fox Sports Brazil were among other 20 people aboard the aircraft on the way to cover the game, the network said. The word death has gematria of 38 as well as 20. They mention how the club was founded in 1973. That was the year after the 1972 incident, which crashed in the Andes Mountain. Andes equals 43. Massacre 43. That's what these stories are. So down below, I'll link this wiki page too if you want to read more about the 1972 incident. Notice how they write it. They say 72 days of survival because that's what the full span of days was, 72 or 71 days after October 13th. 16 survivors. Here we're having an incident in 2016. So I think we covered it all, Truth Seeker. You know, we got to spread this knowledge. Got to spread this knowledge worldwide. If you speak Spanish, can you retranslate my video? If you speak Portuguese, can you retranslate my video? Can we make sure all of North America and South America know about this? This is going on all over the world. Stuff like this. Ritual murder or ritually faking murders. Either way, it's sick. You know? All the people that go to the stadium that feel so sad. You know, people are impacted by their athletes. That's why they do it. It's for the millions of people whose mind's eye they get. Remember the 119 coding, like all-seeing eye, like the town this place is from? That's why they got that symbolism everywhere. They put it in the movies, put it in the commercials, sitcoms. Symbolism's everywhere on the money. Coded right into these stories. Till next time, Truth Seeker.